Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirbhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaeva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarina Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text number 27. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmada pariharyarthe na tvam shochitumarhasi. Read translation.
One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death, one is sure to take birth again. Therefore, in the unavoidable discharge of your duty, you should not lament.
Okay, so duties should be done in all situations. Depending upon the situation, duty may change, but duty should be performed. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So duty should be performed in all situations. perform your duty as per scriptures is called as yajna. So just because someone is going to die, so I will not perform my duty, that is not the right decision. Because anyway they will die. This is what Krishna is saying, that anyway they are going to die. So just because they will die, that's why you should not restrain yourself from performing your duty. You should perform your duty, though they may die. So duties can change depending upon the situation, but duty must be performed. Read further.
One, one has to take birth according to one's activities of life.
Wait. So everyone has taken birth based on their past karma. And whatever we are experiencing in our life, that is also based on past karma. Everything. Whatever you are experiencing is all based on past karma. You are a very successful businessman, past karma. You are a very failure labor on the street, past karma. People may imagine that it's all by my hard work, it's all by my good intelligence. No, it's all by your past karma. Or I would say in people's language, it's all by if you are getting good results, it's all by your good luck. Good luck is good past karma, that's all. So based on our karma only we get different results and you cannot change it. If your karma of the past life are changing, then results in this life will also change. So it all depends upon your past karma, which you cannot change. But what you can do is to mold your future life by performing good karma in this life. Situations which you are getting in this life are all destined. Situations which you are experiencing in this life are all destined. How you respond in those situations are going to make your future destiny. Clear? So, someone may be very poor person, but he should do his duties very nicely, perform his dharma very nicely. His future will be very nice. Someone may be very wealthy person, but if he is simply torturing others and not utilizing money properly, then he will become a poor man in the next life. So it all whatever situations we have in our lives all by past karma. And how we respond in those situations makes our future karma. Read further.
And after finishing one term of activities, one has to die to take birth for the next.
So our past karma we have to experience. So Lord arranges different different bodies for us to experience all those past karmas. For example, you have killed a bird. So you have to get the reaction for it. That means you are also supposed to be killed as a bird. You killed one bird, so you are also supposed to be killed as a bird. So you will have to take birth in a bird body. Like that. Also, you have performed a pious activity of offering drinking water to so many human beings in the summer season. So you have to get the reaction of that also. So you will get a human body near a holy river Ganga. You will get good water to drink. Your health will be very nice. Like that. So one human body and all different activities which you have done, based on all your activities, your future, many different bodies are decided. Based on what you did in one human body, all your future next, Hare Krishna, all your next future bodies are decided. And you have to go through all those different bodies and experience the reactions of what you did in the human body. And again, you will get the next human body. And again, in that human body, how you perform the activity, that will decide all the next bodies. You have to experience the reaction in that. And again, you will get the human body. Like that. So, in this human body, what we do is very, very crucial. So, better perform only the activities of devotion, because only by devotional activities you will be free from all these bodily engagement and go to the kingdom of God. All other activities other than devotional activities are going to bind you in next future bodies, and go taking birth in the body and experiencing the reactions and then dying is not a very comfortable life. It's not a very comfortable life. It's painful. Human body has the least pain compared to all other bodies. Human body has the least pain compared to all other bodies, and what you experience in the human body is known to us. Right? So human body itself is so much troublesome. What to speak of others? So then don't do not take courage. Do not take courage to accept another set of bodies. Better perform the activities of devotion very sincerely and go back on back to about it. Okay, read further.
In this way, one is going through one cycle of birth and death after another without liberation.
Yes, so only by activities of devotion you can be liberated. Otherwise, you will simply suffer in different sets of bodies. Read.
This cycle of birth and death does not, however, support unnecessary murder, slaughter, and war.
Hmm. Oh, he is going to die, so let me kill him. That is not justified. You don't have right to kill him. Arjuna has right to kill. A king has right to kill. A judge has right to kill. Common person, a fighter has right to kill, considering the situation. So, if you have authority, you can do it, considering the situation. Otherwise, you cannot. So, yes, people are dying, and just because people are dying, that doesn't mean that you have authority to kill. And just because people are dying, that doesn't mean that you will you will hesitate to perform your duty. Just because they are dying, you cannot hesitate to perform your duty. And just because they are dying, you cannot take the advantage of killing others. If you have right, if you have authority and the situation is there, yes, you can do it. Otherwise, you cannot. Read further.
But at the same time, violence and war are inevitable factors in human society for keeping law and order.
Yes. So one should not kill others. Ahimsa. That is the general principle encouraged even in Bhagavad Gita. Even in Bhagavad Gita. You can, which chapter?
16th chapter.
Huh?
16th chapter, second shloka. Ayusa satyam kurotam.
I think 15th chapter. Let's see.
Devi Guru.
15th chapter. No, not 15th. Then the chapter. No?
16.2.
16.2, na?
Ayusa satyam kurotam.
16.2, yeah.
Shanti Rabhaisham. Daya Bhuteshwara.
Hmm.
Margavam Vijay Chapter.
What is the first line?
Avayam Sattvam Soshati Dhanam Yogamam Sthiti. Dhanam Dhamashte Nishcha Swadhyaya Stapani.
Hmm. Just a minute, let me see.
16.123.
Yeah, wait. Hmm. 13.8 also. That is the verse I was referring. 13.8. This is better verse.
Yeah. Amanitam Madhuritam.
This is a good verse.
Yes.
So two times, imagine two times Krishna is saying about ahimsa. And not even one time hinsa is mentioned. Okay. So ahimsa is the general principle which is encouraged. In certain situation, and if the person has the authority, then only the violence is accepted. So violence is not completely denied, but violence is not encouraged also. Ahimsa is encouraged. But if the situation is not under control by following the principle of ahimsa, then you have to, Krishna tried. But it didn't work. So because it didn't work, so war was inevitable. So like that it happens. So violence is accepted only as the last resort. When nothing else is working, violence is the last option which could be accepted. Okay. Violence is the last option which could be accepted, but it should be accepted timely. Okay. You cannot allow lot of disturbance happening and then choosing the option of violence very late. By that time, so much of disturbance has already occurred. Use it timely, like that. So violence could be used, but rarely, and it should be used timely. Read further.
The Battle of Kurukshetra, being the will of the Supreme, was an inevitable event, and to fight for the right cause is the duty of a Kshatriya. Why should he be afraid of an aggrieved at the death of a relative since he was discharging his proper duty? He did not deserve to break the law, thereby becoming subjected to the reactions of sinful acts of which he was so afraid.
Wait. So when the consequences are not very positive, then sometimes we think that whether my duty is correct or not. If consequences are positive, then we are confident about our activity. But if consequences are coming negative, then we are doubtful. And this is what happening to Arjuna. Consequences are coming negative. What to do? Everyone will die. Shall I fight or not? Okay. Even in our practical life, also sometimes the situation become consequences will be very negative. Shall we do this or not? Like that. For example, your son is just an example. Your son is smuggling the drugs and hiding in your home. What to do now? If you tell the police, your son is going to caught. If you don't tell the police, your son is going to increase his smuggling. See the situation. What to do? So like that. So when you're confused, what is my duty now? So like that Arjuna's problem is. If I fight, they will die. If I don't fight, their sinful activities continue to increase. What to do? So Krishna is saying, do your duty. Fight. Don't be afraid of their death. It's like, do your duty of informing the police. Don't be afraid about your son being imprisoned. Like that. So that's how the situation is. So don't be afraid. It's easy to say, but difficult to implement, and it should be implemented. That's how your devotion towards Krishna is exhibited in such difficult situation. Whether you give importance to Krishna or you give importance to your own material relationships. That's how your devotion is tested. So Arjuna is asked to give importance to devotion to Krishna and perform his duty. And as far as all these people are killed are concerned, Arjuna will not get the resentful reaction because he is performing his duty. See, a police officer may shoot someone. A, 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 a murderer is running away. It's needed to catch him, otherwise he will kill someone else. So police officer may shoot him. he will die. So police officer will not be caught for killing someone. He did his duty. So like that, Arjuna will not get the sinful reaction of killing someone because he is performing his duty. Okay. So Arjuna should not be afraid of killing others for fear of sinful reaction of killing. No, do your duty. Read further.
By avoiding the discharge of his proper duty, he would not be able to stop the death of his relatives, and he would be degraded due to the selection of the wrong path of action.
Yes. So if you will not fight, can you stop the death? No. And if you don't fight, then you are not performing your duty. And for that you will get reaction. For that you will get reaction. So one should do their duty, and sometimes duties may be tough. Do it. Otherwise you will get another reaction. So it happens sometimes that you have to, the situation comes that we have to stand against someone who could be dear to us. Like Arjuna has to stand against his relatives who are dear to him. It may happen that we may have to stand against such people. And if that is what our duty demands, we have to do. If that is what our duty demands, we have to do it. Sometimes in the movies they may show such critical situations, isn't it? I don't remember any such movie now, but I'm just imagining. There could be some situations like that. That one brother could be policeman, another brother could be thief, isn't it? Like that. This is the truth. It's happened in this movie story. So like that. So now, so how that movie ended, I don't know. If you have seen.
Policeman
Huh?
shoots his brother.
Policeman shoots his brother,
Yeah.
isn't it? So like that. So you have to perform your duty. So that was the happy end of the movie. I don't know. I mean, that was satisfactory end for the those for the people who are watching the movie.
Usually the people are in the side of that anti-hero. I mean the villain.
Is it
Yeah, they have sympathy.
sympathy for the one who was
Who is killed?
who was
For
yeah,
doing wrong things.
yeah.
Yeah, there is one similar movie in which the father is a police inspector
uh,
and his son is kidnapped.
uh,
Okay, and the kidnapper asks his father to give some amount. Otherwise, or he wants to release some of his friends who are caught by the police. But the inspector says, no, I will not. You might kill my son, but I will not leave these criminals. And that son, he listens to that conversation. And throughout his entire life, that son has a grudge for his father. My father, for this his duty, he was sacrificing my life.
And then what happened?
And the audience carry the sympathy with the son.
Huh.
They create situations so that the audience carries
And then what
sympathy.
happened afterwards?
Afterwards, the father has to kill his son because the son becomes criminal later. He thinks that it is good to be a criminal.
Than being an inspector.
And so, they dramatize it in such a way that the people have a sympathy for that anti-hero, for that villain.
Hmm. So the message which was communicated finally through the movie was wrong.
It is wrong. Like
That's how people-
nowadays also people have sympathy for Kans and Ravan. They celebrate Ravan.
Is it?
Yeah, they glorify Ravan.
I don't know.
There are some people.
In books also, Karna
Yes.
was righteous like
It
that.
is, yes, yes, it is. He is glorified.
One book where Karna is glorified a lot.
Lord.
Where it is shown his perspective of living life.
Mhm.
The writer has lived the life of Karna, and through his perspective, he is trying to show us what difficulties Karna went through and why is he
It was
on
injustice on
Duryodhana's
him.
side.
It was injustice on him, and he was more braver than Arjun. That's all there.
And once it was my favorite book for lifetime.
So that's why they write in
Yes.
such a way that
Yeah.
you develop a sympathy. That's why you
Yes.
should read the original what Vyas
Yeah.
Muni has written, not somebody else has written, because
Yes.
it is his
It is a
imagination.
Kadambari, so it's a story.
It's a
But
story. It
but
is his
if it
imagination.
relates to our scriptures, so then our viewpoint of thinking changes along with it.
So we have to read what Vyasdev has written,
Yeah.
which is a fact.
Yes.
But earlier, whatever we used to get in our hand, we used to read because these scriptures were not so easily
So
available
many
as it
people,
is now.
these Puranas, Ramayana and Mahabharata also. So many people tell, so they tell according to their own will, not what Valmiki or Vyasdev has in written.
According to their will, according to their understanding.
Understanding or
Even
they
it's
also.
so difficult to understand. Even we can't understand after reading Prabhupada's purport.
They read original one with critical view. That's why they
Mm.
express that way.
Okay. So all right. So principle is perform your duty even though it may be difficult. Perform your duty, and you will get the good results. Those good results may not be appealing to you immediately, but ultimately you will get good results because you performed your duty, you followed the dharma, you are going to get good results. But if you don't perform your duty and break the principles of dharma, ultimately you will be failure. Ultimately you will be failure. It is like this. For some short-term gain, you lost overall in future, like that. For example, oh, this road is short, let me go through this way. But when you followed that road was not as per the governmental law to for you to go. You're caught. So like that, if you break the dharma, you will ultimately be in loss. So better to lose in short term to have ultimate gain. Okay, like that. Yeah. So don't degrade yourself by the selection of wrong path of action. Always choose the right path of action, though it may be difficult, and you can always consult, but choose the right path of action. Next verse. अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना. Read translation.
All created beings are unmanifest in their beginning, manifest in their interim state, and unmanifest again when annihilated. So, what need is there for lamentation?
Yeah. So this is a regular observation. When someone takes birth, they manifest. And they remain manifested for some time. Before birth, unmanifest, then manifest, and then unmanifest. So it is for all the living entities. Unmanifest in the beginning, then manifest, and then again unmanifest. So it is natural thing. So why to lament about it? Read further.
Accepting that there are two classes of philosophers, one believing in the existence of the soul and the other not believing in the existence of the soul. There is no cause for lamentation in either case. Non-believers, non-believers in the existence of the soul are called atheists by followers of Vedic wisdom. Yet, even if, for argument's sake, we accept this atheistic theory, there is still no cause for lamentation. Apart from the separate existence of the soul, the material elements remain unmanifested before creation. From this subtle state of non manifestation comes manifestation, just as from ether air is generated. From air, fire is generated. From fire, water is generated. And from water, earth becomes manifested.
Wait. Basically, it is saying if you believe in the existence of soul, there is no reason for lamentation because soul will always exist. If you do not believe in the existence of soul, there is no reason for lamentation because what is the value of chemicals anyway? If you are destroying the chemicals, what is the value of them? Don't bother so much. This we have discussed earlier also in one of the verses that even if one doesn't believe in the existence of soul, no need to lament because it's all the chemicals, it's all earth, water, fire, air, ether. So, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that from the subtle state of non manifestation, comes ether, air, fire, water, earth. How that happens, I will explain you little bit. Hmm. Tell me, water has fire element or not?
Yes,
How?
because it has this thing, oxygen in it. Oxygen in it.
H2O.
Your answer is correct, but your explanation is wrong. Water has fire element or not?
You asked for this thing, this one.
Chemical.
No, I'm asking whether water has fire element or not. Okay. Water has fire element. That is why water is flowing. You consider water has no fire element. Then what will happen to that water? Imagine water has no fire element within it. Then what will happen to that water? Think. I don't think it's a difficult question. If fire element is removed from the water, what will happen to that water? What is the answer?
Ice.
Huh?
Ice.
Yes. Because ice has, when you add fire element in the ice, then it becomes flowing water. So much ice is on the mountain. Sun rays fall on it, fire element enters into it, then it becomes flowing water. Clear? So water has fire element in it. Okay. Similarly, earth has water element. The whole earth is together. Without water element, is it possible to keep the things together? You require water element to keep the things together. Clear? So earth is together, that means it has water element. Okay? So earth has water element, water has fire element. Whether fire has air element or not. Tell me.
So first you tell that Earth has a water element.
Earth has water,
So
water
if there
has
is a
fire.
water element in Earth, so it becomes muddy.
That is not the thing we are discussing.
Hmm.
When the water content in the earth becomes excess, then earth becomes muddy. That is understandable. That we are not discussing. I am saying earth has water, water has fire. Same thing. When fire content in the water is reduced, it becomes ice. When fire content in the water increases,
Water.
it becomes vapor. Very simple. What I am trying to say is this much only, that earth has water, water has fire. Tell me whether fire has air or not. Yes, very simple. It's a common experiment in the physics that you stop the airflow, the candle will blow off. So fire has air element and air has ether element because air requires space to flow. Air has ether element. So like that. Okay. So mm, mm, so so first, so see, fire has water has fire element. Fire doesn't have water element. Fire doesn't have water element. Water has fire element. So which should be created first? Water has fire element. Fire doesn't have water element. Which should be created first? Water has fire element. Fire doesn't have water element. Which should be created first? Fire. Fire should be created first. So with this logic, first ether is created, then air is created, then fire is created, then water is created, then earth is created. Okay. Something is like fire is created now. Okay. Then that fire element is added in the ice. I'm just giving you example. That fire element is added in the ice, so water flows. So in the creation of God, the just like when you cook, let's say you are cooking. I, I don't know much about cooking, but just to give you an example, like in our temple, sometimes they cook some rice, special rice. So first they cook rice, common rice, and after cooking that rice, then they will do something on it, and then that becomes special rice.
It's like
Yeah. So first rice is cooked, and then the next thing happened. So like that. First fire is created, then the water element comes. Like that. So the basic ingredients to cook this masala bhat are there in the kitchen. Okay. So first rice is cooked, then you use another ingredients in the kitchen and convert it into special rice. Like that. So similarly, the basic elements for this whole material creation are existing in the unmanifested state. Okay. Unmanifest means not manifested to our eyes, that's all. It's not unmanifest from God's perspective. From God's perspective, it is there. Just like for the child, where's the food? No food. But for mother, no, all the ingredients are there. It just requires some time to cook it. So from child's perspective, food is unmanifest, but from mother's perspective, it's all there. We can just cook it. Like that. So from God's perspective, all the elements are there, which are unmanifest to us, but not for God. So God uses those elements which are in unmanifested state to first create ether, then air, then fire, then water, then earth. Like that. Just like we may first cook rice and then special rice, like that, using the ingredients in the kitchen. Similarly, God creates first ether, then air, then fire, then water, and then earth, using the elements which are in unmanifested. And more details about this creation is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. All right, read further. Srila Prabhupada himself is giving example now. Read further.
From the earth, many varieties of manifestations take place. Take, for example, a big skyscraper manifested from the earth. When it is dismantled, the manifestation becomes again unmanifested and remains as atom in the ultimate state.
Yeah. So creation is done, and when it breaks, it all becomes unmanifest, like that. Read further.
The law of conservation of energy remains, but in course of time, things are manifested and unmanifested. That is the difference.
Yes, law of conservation of energy. What is the law of conservation of energy?
energy can either be created nor be destroyed.
Yeah,
One
it
form
is.
of energy can be converted to another form.
Yeah, this is law of conservation of energy. This is
Law of
this is discovered by
Newton.
and made by. This is discovered by Newton and made by
God.
God. Okay, so law of conservation of energy is discovered by Newton but made by God. Okay, that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It just becomes manifest. It remains unmanifest and then manifest and then unmanifest. Like that. Read further.
Then, what cause is there for lamentation, either in the stage of manifestation or in unmanifestation?
Yes. So sometimes it is not visible, like that. Why to lament? Thus the child is crying, oh, where is my mother? Why are you worrying? Your mother will come back. Like that. So she will come back, but in what form? If the mother is dead already, then she will not come back in the same form as the child expects. She will come in another form. So, so, so form may change. So form may change. So when the form changes, so it is unmanifested. The earlier form is unmanifest. Now new form is manifested. So this happens. So why to bother about it? Like that Krishna is saying. Read further.
Somehow or other, even in the unmanifested stage things are not lost. Both at the beginning and at the end, all elements remain unmanifested, and only in the middle are they manifested. And this does not make any real material difference.
Yes. This does not make any difference. It was manifested in one form, now it is manifested in another form. It doesn't make much difference. Like you had 5 notes of 10 rupees. You had 5 notes of 10 rupees. Now I take those 5 notes from you and I give you 1 note of 50 rupees. Does it make much difference? Doesn't make much difference. But the one who doesn't have knowledge may make difference. Small child. Oh, what is this? I had 5 notes earlier. Now only 1 note. It makes difference to that small child. So like that, those who do not have the higher spiritual knowledge makes not a difference. For those who are attached to matter, it makes difference to them. Like that. So, so we should have spiritual knowledge, spiritual perspective. From that perspective, we should try to observe the things and don't get carried away by the changes which is happening at the lower level. If we are getting carried away by the changes which is happening at the lower level, then there is no question that you can advance on a high platform. You don't have to become disturbed by the changes at the lower level. Then only you can advance on the high platform. So people in general, they are very much attached to the matter. And they are so much attached to the matter that they don't want any change in it. If changes happen in a positive direction, fine. It doesn't happen like that. Changes happen in both the direction. Who is the businessman who always saw the growth of his business? Sometimes the business comes down also. Like that. It never happens like that. So, because we are attached at the material level, so we become disturbed. Krishna is saying, don't bother about this lower material. See, even if a businessman, he saw his business always growing, let's say. Even if a businessman saw his business always growing, he will also be very much disturbed because his body is not always growing. His body is deteriorating. So he will feel lot of pain because his business is growing and his body is dwindling and dying. He will feel lot of pain. You understand? And when he is living, if business goes down, that will also give him pain. So you cannot stop this. This material change is going to happen. Okay. So better to rise high above this material platform. Focus on spiritual purpose. Material endeavor should be a support for your spiritual goal. All our material activities should be a support for the spiritual goal. Don't make material growth as your goal. If you make your material growth as the goal, then be ready to suffer miserably. But if you make all your material endeavor to support for the spiritual goal, then you will always rejoice. Always. Even if materially you may fail, still you can carry on with your spiritual goal, because spiritual goal doesn't depend upon material success. If material success is there, fine, you can offer your good support to it. But even if it is not there, still you can carry on. Understood? So we should focus on spiritual goal. All our material activities should be support to that spiritual goal. Then only we can be happy. Hare Krishna. Shiva Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you. If you have any question, you may ask. Thank you.